All right, so for today's lesson, we are going to start our factoring unit. I did kind of rearrange a few pages around because I did not feel that the introduction page was necessary. So we're going to skip to the next page of notes. So remember, binomials are polynomials that are made up of the sum and difference of two unlike terms. While algebra tiles are a fantastic resource to help us factor basic polynomials, many times we have more complex binomials to factor that we could not model with algebra tiles efficiently. To factor these, we find the GCF. So we will use algebra tiles to help us factor, but I want to take a look at factoring greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor is the greatest term that a factor of two or more terms. When we factor binomial algebraically, we factor out the GCF and leave the remaining factors in the parentheses. All right. So when we starting our factoring unit, when we're looking for the greatest common factor, the first thing we need to do is draw a factor tree for each term, then write out the prime factorization underneath. Circle all the factors that each term has in common. Multiply these together to get your GCF. All of the factors you haven't circled, multiply those back together, but each term separately to see what goes in the parentheses once the GCF is factored out. So remember at the beginning of the year when we were simplifying radicals, we had to make our factor tree so we could find our prime numbers. Remember, couples go out, singles stay in. Kind of that same kind of idea. All right, so looking at this first example here, that's already been worked out for you, but it says factor 15x squared y cubed minus 5x cubed y to the fourth. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out that 15. So we can see that 5 times 3 gives us 15. So we know that both 5 and 15 have 5 in common. All right. So then we're going to take a look at our x term. So just like when we were working with exponents, we look at the coefficient, then we look at the next base. So we have a base of x and a base of y. So we're going to look at those independently. So I can see that in my first term, I have x squared. And then in my second term, I have x cubed. If I expand that out, I have two groups of 2 in each of them. So I have x squared in common. So I can pull out an x squared. And of course, this will make more sense when I do the other example, just explaining that first example that's been done. And then when I look at y, I have y cubed and y to the fourth. So I have y cubed in common, so I can pull that out. So my GCF is 5x squared, y cubed. And then, of course, I have to keep everything that is left over. So I have 3 minus xy. All right, so to make it make a little more sense, let's look at this example that we're going to work out on our own. All right, so I have 8x squared plus 4x. All right, so the first thing I like to do is always look at my coefficients. So I have 8 and I have 4. Okay, so following the example that was already given to us, I can make my factor tree for 8. So I know with 8, it breaks down into, let's change my color back to black, into 4 times 2, which breaks down into 2 times 2. My x squared, we know, is x times x. My 4, I know that's 2 times 2, and my x is just going to be x, all right? So I'm going to circle all of my prime pieces here. And again, this part you don't necessarily have to do. If you can look at it and you can see that I know that 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 8. X times x gives me x squared. That's completely fine, but it's going to help you out as you start working with bigger numbers. All right, so I know that 8x squared is 2 times 2 times 2. I know that x squared is x times x. Then for 4, I have 2 times 2, and then I have x. All right, so I can see that they have a 2 in common, another 2 in common, and an x in common. Okay. So therefore, I know that my GCF is 2 times 2 times x, which equals 4x. All right. So now I'm going to take that piece and put it together. So remember, your GCF always goes on the outside of your parentheses. So I have a GCF of 4x. And then what's going to be left inside of the parentheses? I'm going to circle with a different color. So I see that I have a 2 that is not matched, and I have an x that is not matched, which means that I'm going to just have 2x plus 1. All right. And we have to put that plus 1 there because if we take a closer look and we take each term and we divide it by my GCF. So I'm just going to do a little side note here. So if I have 8x squared plus 4x, and I found out that my GCF is 4x, I'm going to divide each term by 4x. All right, 8 divided by 4 is 2. X squared divided by x, remember your exponent rules. So you subtract anytime you divide like bases. So you have x. And then we know that 4 divided by 4 is 1 and x divided by x is 1. So you have the plus 1. So that is what's left there. If you want to check yourself, then you can always do the distributive property to check to make sure that you get it back. So remember, factoring is just like undoing the distributive property. All right, so I'm going to multiply my 2x by my 4x to give me 8x squared, and then my 4x times 1, which gives me plus 4x. You can always double check yourself by doing the distributive property. All right, let's take a look at the next example. So I have 24xy cubed plus y cubed. All right, so we can go ahead and make our factor tree. So I have 24, which I know breaks down into 12 and 2, which breaks down to 6 and 2, which breaks down to 3 and 2. And that was a little tight space there. So I can go ahead and circle my primes. I know that y cubed is just y times y times y. And again, y cubed is y times y times y. So when we look at 24, we have 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then, of course, we have to multiply by my x, which stays the same, and my y cubed. Then we know y cubed is y times y times y. All right, so when we take a look at the GCF, the only thing that these two terms have in common is y cubed. Okay, so if we look here, we have y cubed here. We have y cubed there. They have 3 y's in common, which is y cubed. And I'll even expand this out to just say. All right. So we know that our GCF is y cubed. So we're going to go ahead and pull out our y cubed. Then we're going to divide each term by y cubed. And that's what's going to be left inside of the parentheses. So that gives me 24x plus 1. So remember, we still have to have that 1 there because then when we go back and multiply our y cubed, that gives us back our original expression. All right, so now let's take a look at some more practice problems. So we're still going to be doing the same thing, making our factor trees, pulling out our factors to find our GCF or factor using GCF. All right, so we're going to look at the left column together, and then you're going to complete the examples in the right column on your own, and then we will review those in class. All right, so we have 3a. So if we try to factor out 3a, we can't break 3a down anymore. It's just going to remain 3a. 21, we know we can break 21 down into 7 times 3. We can see that it has a 3 in common, so our GCF is 3. So we're going to divide each term by 3. So 3a divided by 3 gives me a, and 21 divided by 3 gives me 7. So we get a plus 7. All right, looking at the second one, I have 15x squared y and, plus 25xy squared. All right, so I know 15 breaks down into 5 times 3. X squared is x times x, and we just have y. 25 breaks down into 5 times 5. We have x, which stays the same, and then y squared. So we can see that the two have 5 in common. So I'm just going to strike that out. So I know that 5 is a GCF. They have an x in common, and they also have a y in common. Okay, so I have 5xy as my GCF. Then I'm going to divide each term by 5xy, which is going to give me 3x plus 5y. All right, so if we look back at our work, we can see that we have the 3 and the 5, the 3 left over and the x left over from our first term, and the y and 5 left over from our second term. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So I have 27a cubed b cubed plus 36a to the 4th b squared. All right, I think I left off the 27 here, so I'm going to put the 2 back there. So I do apologize for that. So 27, that goes 3 times 3 times 3, because we have 9 times 3, which gives us 27. Break down our 9, we have 3 times 3 times 3. A cubed is a times a times a. B cubed is b times b times b. 36 breaks down into 3 times 3 times 2 times 2, because we know that 4 times 9 gives us 36. Break down our 9 into 3 times 3. Break down our 4 into 2 times 2. We have a to the 4th, so that's a times a, and then we have b squared. Ran out of a little bit of space there. So we can see that I have 2 3's in common, okay, which means that I have 9. They both are divisible by 9, so 9 is going to be my greatest common factor there. I can see that I have 1, 2, 3 a's in common, so that gives me a cubed. And of course, my b's are kind of distance away, so I have a set of b's there, a set of b's there, so I have b squared as well. Just like in the previous examples, I'm going to go through and divide everything by my GCF. So I have 27 divided by 9, which gives me 3. I have a cubed divided by a cubed, which they cancel out. And then I have b cubed divided by b squared. Use my laws of exponents. I have 3 minus 2, which just gives me b. Then for my second term, so I'm still going to have my plus. 9 divided by 36 is 4. I have a to the 4th divided by a cubed, which is just a. And then I have b squared minus b, which remains the same. So in rewriting it, because I did not put my GCF up there, I have a cubed b squared, which is my GCF, and the leftover, or what's left inside, is 3b plus 4a. All right, and we can see that when we expanded that for our first term, we had 3 and b left over. For our second term, we had 2 times 2, which is 4. And then we had an a left over. So expanding it is a way to help you see what you can see or what's left over. All right, so now you are going to work on the 3 that are in the right column, and you are going to put those in the questions that are at the end of this presentation, and then we are going to go over them for warm-up in class.